The name of the show is The Way to Go. My name is Alan Bendich. I'm going to be your host. And tonight we have two very special guests. Two of my favorite people actually in the world. My father, Max Bendich.
Hi, Al.
And my associate producer and star of Scriptless, Mr. Greg Kritikos. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Very happy to be here.
How about you, Pop?
What
You happy?
happy, smiling. Thank you.
My pleasure. So I've had the pleasure of actually directing, who could say they directed their father? But I've been able to direct the both of you in a scene, and a couple of scenes.
Right.
And I'd like to ask you both how you feel, not the directing part, but the scene itself went. I mean, I'll ask you first, Greg, because I mean, it was pretty intense,
I
right?
loved it. It was intense. And, you know, working with your father was really exciting for me. And, I mean, the last of the line when he turns around and looks at me and he says, "Stay away from my kids," you know, it was just priceless. I loved it. I love working with Max.
Okay.
You told me what to do. We spoke and we did this and that, and it came to a part where I had to be angry and one thing, and then I said, "Stay away from my kids, and you can go."
That's it, you can go. That was the part. He said, now you can go.
He was like,
And you can go.
And that's it. And he looked like he was, at first he looked like he was, you know, he acted like in deference to you, like he respected you.
Right.
But he kind of gave a zinger, which I won't tell you what he said, but a zinger as he's leaving to his bodyguard. But it was good. It was really a good time.
Now I figured this way. I had to be angry, and at the next moment, I have to be docile a little, and I say, "You can go."
Right.
And no anger after that.
Right.
I just put down.
And actually, if you remember, in the beginning of the scene, there was actually an affectionate, you know, because I don't want to give away what happened, but first there's like an affectionate, like a long-lost son or like someone, like an extended part of the family.
yes, absolutely.
And then afterwards, the business, stay away from my kids, you know.
The whole thing is, it's the way it was going along. Right. It was going along little by little, getting a little bit high, we're getting, and then it went down, and then the last scene, boom. And that's all. And then, no, but at the end, I was to show that I could be angry at one moment,
Right.
and then I say, "You can go."
That's it. So you guys, I mean, what do you think of working on Scriptless?
Oh my God, I'm so, well, you know how I feel. I love it. And, you know, just working with you and being in the scene with your father over here, I mean, to me, I think it's wonderful. So I'm so excited.
And there is kind of like a family feeling on the set, right? I mean,
absolutely, absolutely.
And it's there's something special going on, you know? I think there's something special, but why wouldn't I? But just having my father, he's going to be, you know, he's close to 100, you know?
God bless.
No, but the whole thing is how it started, and little by little, everything worked itself in. No, everything worked itself in, and there had to be an ending.
Right.
But before that ending, you had to see why that ending has to be that way.
Right.
And
the interesting thing about the Scriptless, I mean, like you were saying earlier, could you name any other show that's scriptless or dramatic improv?
Dramatic improv, no. As a matter of fact, I can't because I'm a comedian, you know. And, you know.
Not only are you a comedian,
right.
I mean, you've played in front of 1,000 people. I mean, you played in New York City and
I do the circuit. Village. I do the circuit. It's really exciting. And like I said, you know, improvisation basically, most of the time is, you know, based on comedy, you know.
Right.
And, you know, I'm so happy to be doing something that's just so different. And the way it started off, like you said, you know, just out of the blue, you just came up with an idea one day.
Well, and again, it was because of him. I did it for my father.
Absolutely.
Because he had this desire to continue acting.
Right.
And he did a pretty good job in a couple of short films. So I said, why should he have to audition? Why not, you know, what could I do to create something that he could always have a part in? Right. And then, of course, as the story continues, the legend continues, the first person I tried to get in touch with for the show was you.
Right.
And then Noah, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, and it's amazing that the one thing is that we have such great actors, and they're all willing to come to these locations and to do all these different things. And I guess they feel it's special too. I mean, everyone wants to be on the show, it seems.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think you have a great storyline. like I've said numerous times. And, you know, me personally, I love it. You know, when you know, just before the scene takes place, you know, you walk over to us and you give us a quick synopsis of what you want out of us.
Right.
And just to be able to just wing it from the hip, you know, that's the beauty of it, you know, the improvisation that just takes place right before you, you know. It's.
Do you like that, Pop?
I love it. I love it for one reason. Again,
stay away from my kids.
We knew because of the ending, but when it started off, we didn't know how it was going to end.
Right.
I knew I was a little angry, and I was trying to show it in as soft as I could because, again, family, and the whole thing is family.
Now, Dad, the episode that we're going to be doing, that we're currently doing, which is the 4th episode, it's Fathers and Sons. You're going to be a central figure in this thing, but all the people, all the fathers. And it turns out that all the fathers are right over here. We're actually the 3 fathers in the show.
Yes.
And we're going to be, the stories are going to be basically fathers and sons. And you're going to be, there's going to be interesting storyline that you don't know yet.
All I know is I'm a little older than him.
A little.
And he's going to have a little longer way to go to think about it.
Right.
And
we'll still have 2 weeks before we shoot.
We'll see how it's going to be developed.
Right. And that's it. And you know, the next thing is, the other interesting thing is that after we shoot the 4th episode, which we're going to all shoot, we'll all be together, we're going to do what's called like the official pilot. And that's going to be something that we're going to spend maybe a little bit more time shooting.
Right.
And we're going to get it, everything that we learned for the first 4 episodes, we're gonna.
And then what it's going to end up for the last one.
Now the last one is going to be basically. It's in other words, I think what I'm going to do with the last one, the 5th episode. It's not the last one, but the 5th episode is going to be the pilot, which is the one that's really going to be from the beginning of the story till not the end, but till episode 6. So in other words, starting from the first episode through 4, putting it all together into one episode, and then show that to the world.
Exactly.
That's what I'm hoping to do.
And that's going to be an exciting day for me.
It's not going to be just a day. That's going to be days.
Yes, yes.
Because it's going to be. We're thinking about doing like, possibly like a feature-length episode, like. So that means it's a lot of stories put into one show.
And it's going to be like, now tell me this and tell me that, and then we go into this, and then,
and I'll say cut because, Dad, you got to get the words right.
Yeah. This is it's an amazing ride so far. I wanted to, you know, just to remind, you know, everybody out there how exciting everybody is about this.
Right.
You know,
well, it's real. You know.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, and it's like, you know, it's not scripted; it's scriptless.
but also the reality of the thing is that this is a real production.
Absolutely.
This is not and this is going to be on television.
Right.
And it's also, I mean, it is.
I know.
It's going to be on television,
right.
and it's going to stream live anywhere anybody wants to see it. So I mean that's. I mean, we worked on a lot of different projects that we're still waiting to see.
Yeah.
I mean that we'll never see.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the way it goes. And, you know, I mean, you know, I've been in the entertainment business not too long, and you know, I have friends of mine that are still waiting to see themselves on footage. And you know, just that one clip that I shot with Noah and with Tina. You know, I was like, I loved it. It was amazing.
And we're gonna have so much more.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and just the storyline.
And with me, I'm trying to remember when I first started. Here we are knocking ourselves out over here, and a little nervous for this, and I was a little.
You know what started? At least your career started when. I mean, he did some extra work when he was in Hollywood. Because when I worked on Cagney and Lacey, I got him and my mother onto the set, and he did some other things like Beauty and the Beast, which was Linda Hamilton's show, and he did something called The Lottery, which was another show which he did with Mom. But the first time he ever acted. I asked him if he wanted to be an actor, and then I started submitting him, and then he did some student films, and he actually did a good job, and then I figured, you know, and then he did Tapestry with the Ken Kushner thing, and then after that, I just said, what the hell? You know, like, why not have a recurring role? One thing about a recurring role is that, I mean, you could start broadening it. You know, you could start having more depth. It's not one-dimensional. You don't have one shot to do everything. You know, it's not one time, 10 minutes that you have to put all the character in. You could develop the character. It gives you time And you know, I think episodic television is a little bit easier to develop a character than in a movie. In a movie, you have to have all that backstory right there at this point.
Right.
Whereas with television, you get a little bit more time, I think, to develop and expand the character.
Yes, you know, definitely, you know, and each episode just shows a little different side of the character,
right.
You know, and that's the beauty of it.
And with me, I think about it. That's to develop a character that you never played in your life.
Right.
You may not have even seen it in the movies, right. And you're one of those characters, but you haven't the experience for something like it, even though it's that much.
Right.
And all of a sudden, it gets together good. You feel a little better,
right.
And
then you also
that's how it.
And you're like with other actors who respect you, who give you the time to actually speak. You know, no one's stepping on each other's lines.
Very important.
So in other words, like when you were doing a scene with Greg, he was quiet when you were talking, and not quiet, but it wasn't quiet like, okay, it's your turn to talk. It's engaged, but with, you know, like, and listening.
We're listening.
And that's the key, listening. I remember my friend Tim, who, when we were in Hollywood, we went on vacation right shortly after my mom passed away. We went to Hollywood and we went to visit your Uncle Jaime, who passed away shortly thereafter at 107, 106, whatever. But we stopped in at my buddies who I used to hang out with and worked with in Hollywood. Right. And one of the guys is this guy, Tim, who was my bar back when I was a bartender at the Hollywood Palace. And he said the one thing he liked about some of the acting that I did was the time when I wasn't talking. In other words, the time that I was listening, that I was engaged. Right. And that is equally important as much as the verbalization, you know?
Yeah, one thing that I'm learning about, you know, my acting, that I'm especially working on Scriptless is, you know, with doing the improv, is silence is golden. Expressions on your face say a lot. Having that comfortability where you're just waiting on the actor to like react to your reaction when you come out, and making sure that we're not going to be tripping over our lines is very important, you know.
But it's like he says, the comfortability. We're all comfortable.
Right.
I mean, as if we were a big family, we knew each other for years, and whether I like you or you like me, we're still together though. We're trying to help out each other, and we're succeeding. We are succeeding.
And like your characters might have very difficult issues between the two of you, but it's all based in a love, because like his father and you grew up together. So you love this. You love this guy because you know him when he was a baby, when he was born. But the problem is, maybe you're not 100% happy with some of the things that he might be doing, or maybe you are. I haven't decided that yet.
That's the beauty of it. He hasn't decided yet. We don't know what's going on right now. Up until the last minute.
No, but one thing you do know that you know him when he was born, and you know, and his father and you were like this. Were like this.
I love the storyline. I absolutely love the storyline.
And isn't it great that we have a person who's of this age, you know?
Unbelievable. God bless. You know, every time you look younger and younger every time I see you. What kind of water do you drink? Find out what kind of water. I feel like I'm between the Bendich sandwich over here.
You have to make up your... I'm serious now.
Yeah.
No, they are numbers, that's all.
Age.
And that's my attitude. Why? The days get into weeks. The weeks get into months, the months get into years, and the years pile up, and all of a sudden, two numbers are the same, 9, 9, and
next year,
the same thing as I think I was when I was 70. I'll say,
right.
I feel young, I feel good, because the family is. My family is together, and about my family, there were about 18. Who knows, nieces. Great nieces and
great grandchildren,
and we were lucky about two things. We had in all my life, and all our family, 2 deaths. That's not one is the normal one. One was the normal.
My mother.
One. It was either my wife or me. And well, she died first, and just recently my niece died. But look what and we are all together.
And we all love each other. We have a very close family.
Yeah, and I
How it
love that
happened,
about.
don't ask how it happened. We don't know. It happened, that's all.
Well, Max, I just want you to know, every time I see you, I get this positive energy from you, which I love because, you know, 99 years old and having the spirit that he has is unbelievable. It's priceless, you know.
And he's my dad.
Yes.
And he's your friend.
Yes, absolutely.
So there it is. I mean,
he might kill me too on the show.
You see, my friend,
or you might kill him.
he takes out, he said, he's, what was your expression, that you took out my energy? So, no wonder now I'm like this, that's all I
I took all his positive energy. No. You took his energy.
What I'm saying is that, you know, every time I'm around you, you always have this beautiful smile on your face.
I try.
And I just get this positive energy that just comes out of you.
No,
and I'm a strong believer, right? Because, like, the energy around, like,
one other thing, you have to be an optimist.
Right.
You have to be an optimist.
Right.
And when you're an optimist, everything goes well.
Right.
You want to say something bad, but the word is bad, so you don't say it. And you are not so good.
Yeah, that's what. I mean, the other thing is the only time you're not. There's only one time you're not an optimist. If the director says, or the writer says, or not the writer, but the storyline, you're not an optimist. Then you're not an optimist.
Then you're not an optimist.
No, but it was funny. I interviewed him once of the 20. This is 26th time. This is only your 4th. But this is 26th
That's
time.
my 4th time already. Wow.
Right. But, and I was trying to say, you know, you got shot in real life. You know, he got shot. He got shot, and that's what the Laundryman, the movie The Laundryman is about, is 8 days when he got shot. He got shot June 23rd, 1969. He got shot. He was in World War II, but thank God he survived. You know, there was a lot of things that happened in his life that would have changed people from optimism to pessimism.
Absolutely.
To positive to negative.
Absolutely.
So I was trying to say, how could you be, and I was trying to get him to say something negative, and he just kept on saying, well, not that negative, maybe things could have been a little bit better, or something like that.
Something else. I said, I'm the luckiest man in the world, but there is bad luck and good luck. And I had about 3 or 4, no, 3 definitely bad lucks, unbelievable. There was a possibility I could have died, you know, 3, maybe
more than 3 times, probably.
So I get shot, and I get shot over here in the left side, and the bullet came out over here, and not a pain, no nothing. So I was in the hospital, and doctors came around from everywhere. Where is this guy who was shot in the left side and is still alive? Right. I see your heart, your liver, your pancreas, you name it. Now, here comes what I'm saying, bad luck is okay. I'm on the way home. A week later, I was in the hospital a week later, and I go to the window. Sunny day in July.
June, it's June.
June.
No, it's July, right? When you're coming home, it's July.
A sunny day in July. And I look out the window. What do I see? Cars running, it's beautiful, people are walking, they're going to work or doing something like this, and I would have been dead. Meaning, what does that mean? I'll be dead and this is going on? I should have learned something out of it. I must have learned something.
Well, Dad, you were always positive, but you became more positive after that. And that's the story. That's really the story of I almost said stories from the story, but that's
The Laundryman.
The Laundryman. The story is that you wake up the next day and you're still alive, and it's a beautiful day outside. And the thing is, life goes on, whether it's a beautiful day outside, I mean, whether you're here or not. So why not appreciate being here?
Absolutely.
And do the best you can and be Mr. Positive, which is what Max Bendich is.
Absolutely. And you know what? Speaking for myself, like, because you know a little bit of my history.
Yeah, well, let him tell. Well, he has a story.
You know, and no, it's just like, you know, I like to, like, you know, 3 years ago, you know, I was in pretty bad shape. Alan knows, you know, I spent some time in rehabilitation and detox. And today, I'm learning to, like, take the good out of everything. You know, you have bad and you have good in life. And, you know, as long as you take, you know, something you learn from that experience and build on it, that's the most important thing in life today. And I see that a lot with positive people, you know, and I see that in you, Max, and I really appreciate that. I want you to know that.
One other thing, I might as well say it, World War II, like you say, the Battle of the Bulge, I don't know, all of a sudden, we're winning the war. We're over here, Germany is here, in other words, about a few miles, we chased them back, we stopped. all of a sudden, new troops, new airplanes, new this. How they hid them, we don't. And they started pushing us back. So now I was stationed in Paris. I was there for 9 months. It's some army job. So what did they do?
I love the way he has a way of saying some army.
No. So what did they do?
What did they do?
Out of France, they took in every village, half the American present. You know, the people who were there, clerks from the band, you name it. I made infantrymen out of them.
Wow. He was a clerk. You were a clerk, right, Bob?
Yeah, sure, man. This is what I want to tell you about my bad luck that became good luck. And
he was going to go into the Battle of the Bulge.
In the Battle of the Bulge. So I was one of them they took out. And how do you become an infantryman? Right now, I mean, in the army, they put a pack on your shoulder, and you're a 60-pound bag, and you climb up a hill, and they actually shoot a shell over you. And they say, when you hear it whine, when you don't hear it, you're in trouble. Infantryman. All right. So we start going to fight the Battle of the Bulge. We come to a river. Everything is fine. We don't know what we're going to do. And we see the German bunkers, big bunkers, looking right at us. And it's like the Hudson River, but I think smaller. And we stop. Now, this is what I read in the paper, and I still have that paper. The general wanted to go across, and General Eisenhower, he was in charge of everything. I don't know if you remember it. He was the leader of the whole army. Don't cross the river. I want to cross the river. And it's written in the Times, believe it or not.
So they stopped, right?
Right. It's a nice story. And what did he do? He sent out spotters or something, at night, and to see what those big bunkers, how armed they were and everything. They came back and you said, there's not a soldier there. They all ran away. But the war was, that's a time when everybody was pushing him back, right. And the war was over. Now, in the Times, there was an article. We won the war, and we lost it. And what happened? How did he say we lost it? All those people that they took out, including me, and it's on YouTube.
Right.
Battle of the Bulge.
Right.
And you actually see a general. Did you ever hear a general surrender an army? You see this general surrendering the army. I don't know how many, 10,000, 1,000, not 10, or 1,000, whatever number he had. The soldiers had no shoes. No, really, you see that. The soldiers had no munitions. The soldiers had no clothing.
No food.
And some of them, there's a place called the Veterans Administration near here, right across the street where I live, and they are positive they froze to death. Froze to death. And those people that they took in, and they took in about 50,000 men, almost all of them died. And I was supposed to be one of them.
Right, so my father,
Wow.
That's the point of his luck. My father's been very lucky a couple of times in his life.
Luck?
He had a heart attack that he survived. They put a stent in him. He had cancer that he survived, a prostate issue, all these things. And he's 99 years old. He's like that bunny, what is it? The ever-ready bunny, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I'm happy he's still here. I know my son is happy. And you're happy too, because you got a good scene partner, right?
Absolutely.
And now comes something. Well, I have pictures, beautiful pictures. But his son, my grandson, he can't get enough of me, and I love that. I can't get enough of him. And we have pictures kissing each other and kidding around.
So, Daddy, what's your favorite expression? What's your favorite expression?
My favorite?
Expression. Life.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had my hat. I got it ruined.
No, it's better.
getting
Mimi
another
fixed
one.
it. No, she fixed it.
Oh, she fixed it?
Yeah.
Life is good. Now where I live, that's what they call me. Yeah, but, hey, life is good. Come over here.
Where's that hat? That's all he ever talks about.
Why? Because it's my attitude.
Life
My
is good.
attitude. And something else now. Nowadays. So my my wife dies, and that was one of the saddest days of my life. But this is my attitude. Because I fainted, they say, and then we got together, and this is my actual words. Mom died. We all died.
That's right.
All died. But the next moment, the life goes on. A new life was born. A new life without Mom, or without Bubby, or without great Bubby. And we have to live. And we got there and we knew it. And they didn't know what was going to happen to me. We had a house. We thought I'm going to be living in, go back to the house. But nah, I said, there comes an age. I was in the 90s.
Right.
There comes an age when you know that something should happen to help you live, and someone should be taking care of you. And that's what my attitude was. And here I am.
That's it.
And
let me go on a little bit. And here he is, and he has had quite a few girlfriends already. He has two right now. Estelle, right? And
You got 2 more than I got.
I shouldn't say that on TV. Now, one of us is going to say, "You have 2, Max?" So,
what did I say at that time?
yes.
It's a different life. No, actually, it is a different life. One of the starters, my wife and I, one of us, and I made a new life, and because I made a new life out of it, everybody, my nieces, my nephews, we have a picture, about 30 people, all in one thing.
I know, it's a beautiful picture.
Come to see the
You know what? You got to come to the office again. You come there. He's been to my office a couple of times. Right. You got to come again. I'll show you. It's on my computer screen. He's in the middle, and there's like a ton of people.
You moved offices now. Now you're...
No, not yet. We're going to be moving in July to
July?
Tribeca.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm still there. And it's right across the street from where the party is tonight. Could you believe it? So I had to come home,
That is so
do this,
funny.
and now I have to go back to the party tonight.
Yeah, that is so funny.
But Dad, it's, your story is an amazing one. And I'm not just saying that because I'm your son, but it's so amazing that we're actually making a movie. And we're going to have to figure out, I'm not sure, but you're going to be in it, but we got to figure out what role you're going to be in it yet. Because
any role but the guy that shoots him.
No, you can't play that role. But we're going to have a role. I mean, there's a hero. There's a couple of things. I'm thinking either a doctor, which would be interesting for you, or a cop. So we've got to figure it out. Or maybe you could be my Uncle Jack because you slightly resemble him, but he didn't have the. He didn't have quite the intelligence that you have. That's the thing. So, but to play someone who's not intelligent takes. I mean, look at Marty, which was done by what's his name?
Oh, that was a great movie,
What's
Marty.
his name? The guy from McHale's Navy. Ernest Borgnine. He said it.
Right. I love that, Marty.
Right, so in other words, to play simple.
Oh my God, he got an Academy Award for that.
That's right. To play simple or to play, it takes acting.
Yeah.
So maybe that would be something that you could do. And unfortunately, that was my Uncle Jack.
I love the end of that movie when he says, "What's the matter with me? I got a beautiful girl waiting for me, and I'm standing over here. What do you want to do, Marty? What do you want to do? What do you want to? You know what I want to do? I want to be with my girl. That's what I want to."
That's it. I love it. There it is. Yes. Yeah.
That was so fun.
But life is good, and you know why life is good? Because I get a chance to hang out with people I really enjoy being with, people I really like,
Absolutely.
family and friends.
Is it lucky? Right.
Well, Dad, let me just tell you. You asked the question, is it lucky? Well, sometimes things are lucky, and unfortunately, but sometimes they're not. And the most unlucky thing to do, really? You know what it is?
Yeah.
It's when I have to say, it's a wrap. Good night, everybody. Take care.
I knew that was coming.
Sweet thing, honey pie, looking good, caught my eye. I dig your vibe, your smile. Come here, let's talk for a while. I'm loving your company, feeling the electricity. Can't explain this chemistry. Something's coming over.